Welcome to Religion 211, Introduction to the Old Testament, Week 3. The text is a brief introduction to the Old Testament by Michael D. Coogan. This week we will discuss Coogan chapter 3, Creations, covering Genesis 1 through 3, and Coogan chapter 4, the formation of the Pentateuch and the primeval history, covering Genesis 4 through 11. Coogan chapter 3, Creations. This chapter we will go into the book of Genesis 1 and the Sabbath, detailing Genesis chapter 1 through 3, which shows the Old Testament creation story, including God's seventh day of rest. Enuma Elish, which is an ancient text that has similarity to the Genesis account, and a second account of creation found in Genesis 2, 4b and chapter 3, 24. Important terms for chapter 3: anthropomorphic, the attribution of human characteristics to a non-human being such as a deity. Cosmology, the account of the origins of the world. In the ancient Near East, cosmologies are usually creation myths. Divine council, the assembly of gods over which the high God presides. In the Bible, Yahweh is described as the head of the divine council, and prophets claim to have witnessed or participated in its meetings. Elohim is the Hebrew word for God or gods, which, although plural in form, is often a title for Yahweh and is translated God. Enkidu, in the Epic of Gilgamesh, the wild man created by gods to distract Gilgamesh from his antisocial activities. Gilgamesh and Enkidu became friends, and Enkidu's death motivated Gilgamesh to seek immortality. Enuma Elish is also called the Babylonian creation epic. This is a work on 7 tablets in praise of the patron god of Babylon, Marduk. It describes how Marduk defeated the primeval sea goddess Tiamat and then created the world and humans. Its title is its opening words, which mean "went above." Gilgamesh is the hero of the Mesopotamian epic named for him, who with Enkidu travels widely and ultimately meets Utanapishtim. Marduk, the chief god of Babylon, the storm god who defeated Tiamat, as recounted in Enuma Elish. Myth is a traditional narrative concerning the remote past in which god or goddesses are often principal characters. Sabbath is the day of rest, the 7th day of the week. The term can also be used for longer periods of time, as in a sabbatical year. Tiamat, the goddess of the primeval salt water, who in Enuma Elish is defeated by the storm god Marduk. Tree of Life, the tree in the Garden of Eden whose fruit provided immortality. Tree of the knowledge of good and evil is also the tree in the Garden of Eden whose fruit was forbidden. And Yahweh, the personal name of God, of the God of Israel.